I thought I was there to get to know you. I thought this was a real date, you know, and she sat down and the first thing out of her mouth was like, hey, I want to dance. And I'm like, you want to dance or you wanted to get to know me? I was genuinely confused.
So I know you wanted to speak out. So let me hear what exactly you wanted to tell us and kind of tell your side of the story.
Basically, I was interested in just getting the truth out there. You know, I'm not looking to push any narrative or get out there. I just want my name clear. That's it. You know, looking back, I wish I would have just never done this and not had to deal with it. But at this point, you know, it's here. So I just like to clear my name and kind of what went down and get past it. That's it.
So then obviously, like, you know, everybody's talking about the moment where you pick her up and, you know, take her away after she's dancing. Did production tell you to do that? Like, you know, why did you want to do that?
Well, here's the funny thing, right? Like, I get on the boat, I compliment her on her eyes. She has beautiful eyes. I was nothing but nice about it. I was being a gentleman. And I don't know if, you know, she took that the wrong way or the right way or whatever. Then the crew was like, hey, and Heather and everybody's like, hey, come sit down next to Chrishell. And I think they were trying to break the ice. You know, that was fine. I sat down and she honestly just didn't even give me the time of day. She seemed like she was super uncomfortable. There was something bothering her. Or there was some other agenda or something. And she just kept, like, she jumped up and ran away. There was no getting to know her. So when they told me, hey, this was going to be a date amongst friends, definitely wasn't a date amongst friends. Mm-hmm. I got there and immediately felt like, what am I doing here? Right? Like, why am I here? Mm-hmm. And that scene where I put my hand out and I carried her back to sit down and talk, that scene didn't happen right away, right? They're making it seem like, obviously it's, you know, 5 minutes of film time. So they got to cram everything together. And everybody thinks like, hey, here's Robert. He just manhandled her and took control of her. And no, that's not what happened at all. And that wasn't the intention. I'm a funny, outgoing Scorpio guy that likes to have fun, you know? And once the alcohol started hitting as well, you know, liquid courage comes out and everybody's like, hey, so that was my last attempt at trying to get to know Chrishell. As I walked to the back of the boat when they were all fun and bubbly. And I thought, okay, here's an opportunity. The crew had kind of pushed the narrative of us getting to know each other. And that was the last part for them too, I think, of pushing it. But I had walked back there and I put my hand out and she grabbed my hand and I'm like, hey, you're too hot. You know, I want to cool you off, you know, just being funny. Right. It came across super bad, obviously, but I was nervous, you know, it's my real first time on any type of reality TV show. So maybe I didn't say the right thing. Mm-hmm. I put my hand out, she grabbed it and she came kind of into my arms. I just picked her up and walked her over and I was trying to be cute and flirty. And I'm like, hey, you know, do you want to dance or do you want to get to know me? And I meant that in a wholehearted way where I thought I was there to get to know you. I thought this was a real date, you know, and she sat down and the first thing out of her mouth was like, hey, I want to dance. And I'm like, you want to dance or you wanted to get to know me? I was genuinely confused.
Yeah.
I wasn't being rude. I wasn't trying to be this controlling person that they're painting me out to be. I'm not controlling. I just simply was being sincere. Like, I thought we were here to get to know each other, and it made it super obvious that something was off at that point. She'd gotten up so fast. It was like a ninja, Chrishell the ninja. She started climbing over me and I sat back super fast because I'm like, I was lost. I was confused.
Yeah, you were kind of just shocked by how everything was going down.
Yeah, I was super shocked, and I'm a gentleman. I would have 100% gotten out of the way had I known a little quicker. I just didn't respond fast enough, honestly, and that's my mistake. I was never meant to come off that way. That's not who I am. As soon as that boat had docked, it was a long, I don't even know, 2-3 hours on the boat. It was freezing cold, but I was ready to get off. So I was the first person off that boat. I just took off, took the 500-yard dash up to valet to get my car. And upon getting to my car, I hear Chrishell, hey, Robert. And I turn around, and to be honest with you, I was so hurt that I felt so used. I'd never once in my life been on any type of date that I was treated like that, just ignored and belittled pretty much. I turned around and I kind of just put my hand up and I was like, hey, no thanks, Chrishell. And I got in my car. I went on Instagram and I just blocked her because I wanted to put it past me. I wanted to move on. And I drove home. Mm-hmm. And honestly, in disbelief that A, my friend would even put me in that type of situation, and B, how she handled herself. So that's kind of what happened there. And the funny thing is as soon as I finally decided to respond to all this stuff, which was weeks after, because I just was dealing with other personal issues at the time. I didn't respond. I didn't even want to see the episode, but people started sending me all this stuff of them pushing this narrative and continuing to, push the show. I finally decided to respond on Twitter and caught Chrishell in a couple little lies that she has on there. And then I took it to Instagram, and she responds on Instagram with the part where she said, "I'm glad you brought this up. The cameras didn't see it, but I'm glad you mentioned. Then you were also rude to me when I went to say that it was nice to meet you and goodbye." Well, my question would have been, hey, why were you running from the opposite end of the boat every single time, in quotation marks, of her? She was dodging me, and I was this bad guy that pulled you off the back of the boat and made you uncomfortable, and I didn't get up out of the seat. Why, when I left and the cameras were off and your boyfriend wasn't there, why did you come running after me at that point to tell me it was nice to meet me? So all these little things started playing in my head at that point, like, hey, gosh, I'm really being used here. I'm being set up.
Yeah.
Right. That's when it.
Were you mad at Heather and Tarek as well?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I was hurt. And, I honestly don't think Tarek had anything to do with this. Tarek was a long-term, one of my best friends, one of the best people I know. He's honest. He's always been truthful with me. He always had my back. Now I respect it. I know it's his wife. I know he's got to side with his wife, but he left me out to dry. Yeah. And at the same time, I get it, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at him. So
do you think at the time, or that Chrishell was with Jason, and that's why she acted the way that she did?
Yeah, 100%. It's a fact. Yes. She was with Jason. They had been hooking up prior to that. There's no way you would go on a date, a friendly date, and then not even give the guy any time of day to get to know you whatsoever. I could feel the awkwardness. And that's the thing that all these people are saying on social media, like, hey, you're a creep, you did this or whatever. Look, I was there, and I'm a human. I'm a normal person just like all of you. I can feel when something's off, right? That's what I do for a living. My job is to know people. That's what I do. So when I felt that this was way off, I just couldn't grasp that it was Jason. I was like, you're going to date your boss? I don't date people I work with. It doesn't make for good business. So I never grasped that, but it really hit 5 days later when we were in Las Vegas. That's when I knew, like, for sure. I was like, oh crap. And Heather knew. I knew Heather knew at that point. Looking back at all the videos that I've seen now, Heather knew.
Yeah. Well, Chrishell does say in her Instagram that it was that Vegas weekend where they first got together. This is what Chrishell says. I have to say both sides. I mean, did you fully believe that they were together before that?
100%. There's no doubt in my mind.
Now that this is out there, are you hoping to just kind of move past this now? I mean, I know Chrishell said to stop tagging her and things, and like, let's just both move on. Are you hoping to just both move on from this whole thing? And especially even with Tarek and everybody too, are you just hoping to put this behind you?
Yeah, I want to get this behind me. I want to move on. Hey, the date could have gone one or two ways, right? It could have gone good. It could have gone like it did. And there's no hard feelings here. It wasn't a match. It didn't work out. No problem. I wish her the best. I truly do. I thought she was a nice person, I thought. But she had her own agenda. So in this case, yeah, I just want to put it past me. I want to move on, but I'm going to do it on my terms, right? I'm not going to have somebody come in and blast me on every platform that they have, right? Multiple interviews, 2 episodes of Selling Sunset. I'm getting bashed. They're calling me rude, creepy, a caveman. It's not the truth, So I want to take the time to clear my name and my reputation of who I am and just move on. That's it.